US President Donald Trump has now promised that the tariffs that will be levied on Mexico, Canada and an additional 10% off China will begin from the 4th of March. The US President said that he's now proposed 25% tariff on Mexican and Canadian goods, and this will come into effect from the 4th of March because drugs are still pouring into the United States from these countries. My colleague Gaurav Sawant is joining me on the story. Gaurav, this is a big statement coming in from United States President Donald Trump. When he took oath, Gaurav, everyone knew that, he will do something which will be radical, but now he's making sure that he's going ahead with everything that he has said. And 25% tariffs is something that all the countries are looking at very keenly.
So this is something which will be very alarming for Canada, very alarming for Mexico and China, where Donald Trump is imposing 25% tariff on all imports from Mexico, 25% on Canada and 10% on China. These tariffs, you'd recall, were introduced because he said that there'd be an executive order on this, which is as part of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. And why is he doing this? He's saying this is a national emergency, citing 1, illegal immigration, and 2, drug trafficking, and particularly fentanyl. There's a crisis, a huge crisis in the United States of America. Donald Trump says previous governments did not fight it. There's an entire generation. The apprehension is, especially on the West Coast, that they'd be destroyed. And they are being destroyed because of fentanyl, and these countries are not doing enough. He wants additional border security personnel to be deployed. So while Canada and Mexico may have made promises, Donald Trump says it's not happening on ground. The suspension, basically, initially they said that there'd be 1 month delay in implementation till the 4th of March, and that suspension was formalized till this executive order. But this very, very clearly, what does he expect? He expects Mexico to reinforce the US-Mexico border by putting in additional 10,000 security personnel to combat this drug trafficking. He's pledged, while these countries have pledged, they will stop this. It isn't happening. So he says all of these will come into effect.
Thank you, Gaurav, for giving us those details, putting things in perspective. As my colleague also rightly pointed out, that not just these countries, but the other countries will also be very keenly looking at these tariffs. It is Mexico, Canada and China, which are now waiting for the 4th of March to see the kind of tariffs that United States will impose on them.